Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're looking at our comments from September. But before all of that, I've been told by my manager that I am legally obligated to inform you guys that we now have channel memberships available. You get absolutely nothing for it, but if you want to support the channel, you can. Don't feel pressured to, you don't have to. And we do have the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description down below if you do want to just support me once and not do the monthly recurring everything. But with that out of the way, we got some comments this month. We have lots of things to go through, and at the very end, we have a little bit of drama in the comments that we will talk about because I feel like it's an important conversation to have. So, our first comment comes from a block of tofu on my Ancient Garurumon Galaxy Engine deck profile. Decided to try this on DCGO Sim, and it's pretty fun. Paladin Ace is definitely needed because you draw like crazy. One of my favorite things about doing this, making videos, I know I'm not competitive. I'm not actually trying to give you guys advice on what is the best. I just like to share the way I like to play decks, and it brings me immense satisfaction and makes it feel like it's worth it when I see comments like this that say, hey, your idea was interesting. I pasted it into DCGO and I tried it, and you know what, it's great. Awesome. I love to hear that, and I love that, putting that deck list in the description makes it so easy for you guys to just copy, paste, and then run it and decide if you like it or not. And then you don't have to be worried about spending money on the deck before you try it. You can decide in like 15 minutes if you like the deck or not. So I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it. Gurren Raider 25 on my post about the BT19 Calamon says Alice's new best friend because I said the card was going to be nuts, and anything that can delete Calamon to get the free recover after evoing for reduced cost. Yeah, Calamon just seems like it's going to be so good with Alice. I'm so excited for this card to see, what I can do with it in purple. The only hangup is that you can't cheat it out because it's a white rookie. So you have to be, you're going to get a free recover off of it, but you're going to have this trade-off where you have to take an extra turn to either set up the memory to promote, play the rookie, sack it to Alice, and do all that while setting up Alice too. So we're talking probably minimum two-turn investment to actually make that happen. Or something else. I don't know what something else would be, but I'm very excited for the rookie, and we'll see what we can do with it. Next, Digipanda on the What If Chaos Gallantmon got new support video. If you don't know, I did this video with Digipanda for 500 subs. I asked him for some input on some custom cards that I wanted to make for, What If Chaos Gallantmon got new support. Because, he does the What If series, and it was one of the first series I really watched about Digimon content, and it got me interested in, stretching my brain a little bit with the card game. So he says, glad you got this video up. It definitely inspired me to go back and refine how I do conceptual cards. Awesome. He did send me some stuff he was working on. I hope he makes a video about it because it was super cool. But I will say Digipanda does some great videos and great custom cards, and it was awesome to be able to work with him on a video like this. Franco, we're going to call you Francho. On the same video, says it would be cool if the Chaos Gallant is the first ace that evolves from the trash and not the hand, or maybe both, but with extra effects if evolved from the trash. I think that that's a really, really cool idea, but I think it brings with it some maybe unintended consequences. It would have to be like a once per game effect, because otherwise you're just evoing from the trash, and then if they remove it, you evo from the trash, and if they remove it, you evo from the trash, etc., etc. Obviously, you pay the overflow penalty, but if the effect is really, really good, then, it might be worth it, especially if it's difficult to answer in some sense. But if it's not really, really good, the question is, why are you running it in the first place? And it's not really worth bringing back from the trash for the overflow penalty. So it's kind of a design conundrum in its own, I think, there. But it is a really cool conceptual idea. Maybe someday. That'd be kind of neat. K. Liliando says, holy crap, I just tested on DCGO and it's so fast. Great list for Doggo Rush, BT17 Caesarmon. Yeah, I really like this deck profile. If the arenas weren't so expensive, I would probably just shell out the money to build it and play it because I like it. It's so interesting, and it's so different from what I normally play. Again, I'm glad that somebody was able to just plop it into DCGO and have a good time with it. That makes me happy. Jacob Willis says, I've thought that Pheromon playing 5s for free had a lot of potential for a while, but it always came up as the third best boss when I tried the deck build. This core is really interesting, though, for the purple value engine. I agree to an extent. I've never tried really, really hard to build with Pheromon, but I think he has an interesting position that he could fill now that we have all of these pieces to do something interesting. I definitely want to come back to the idea at some point. We're taking a little bit of a detour next week for some Musketeer shenanigans. And I know I still have to hit Zavagamon and Sendromon at some point because, those are some other big decks in the meta. Well, not necessarily the meta, but from the box. I do want to make a Pheromon profile though, because I feel like there has to be something you can do with them. Playing out Cerberus X for free and then getting another level 3 for free. I just feel like you should be able to do something. So we'll see if we can't figure out what that something is. Trap King Desu says, yes, thank you. I've been looking for a fun list for this deck. We'll definitely try it out. Also love how you cover more unique and interesting decks than just solely meta. Definitely one of my favorite Digimon TCG channels. Thank you. I sometimes wonder if I'm just like a, filler videos that people put on the background, or if there's people who actually enjoy this content specifically. So that's reassuring to hear. I like doing unique profiles. It's getting harder, like a lot harder. The more you look at new boxes, it's really hard to pick out cards that scream, you can do something with me, versus, obviously you have the big boss monsters from every box. But a lot of the time it's either new boss monster, make a deck, or piece of support very obviously intended for older boss monster, and then you make a profile and it's Machine Dramon, but now it has EX7 Mega Dramon or something. So I was happy that we had this little mini engine of Caesarmon that I think he fits in a couple different decks. You can use the Zhang Pangmon as the top end or something like that. So cool opportunity to be able to make a deck profile on something silly like that every once in a while. Royal Knight of Destiny says, nice list. Why no more Mad Leomon on Jet Merva is back? EX7 Minervamon. The answer is that this deck is already on the cusp of not really being playable. It's always had the inherent problem of trash setup, and now we have Paladin mode Ace that kind of stuffs you, and Mad Leomon is just asking to get aced on by a level 7 or a level 6. The more aces that enter the meta, the harder it is to use an end of attack effect. Getting it to resolve successfully can be really, really hard. And the deck was already struggling with speed, and I felt like it was just at that point where I had to choose to go for straight speed with the Lady Devi. The Lady Devimon X gives me the extra level 4 that I was even running Mad Leomon for in the first place, like the main benefit of running it in my eyes. So I feel like at this point it's just worse, and it's really hard to get away with running it. So that's why we're on the Lady Devimon package with no Mad Leomon. Okay. K. Frixian says, this is quite literally the best time for a new person to start playing Digimon. They buy 2 of either of the new starter decks. They're able to create functioning decks by getting the cards from EX7. Zafagamon and Syndril aren't Ancient Garuru or Imperial level, but they have the relative speed of a modern deck. The best part is that the starter decks give everyone training cards. On EX7, Digimon Liberator does everything right. I wholeheartedly agree. I went and bought 2 of each starter deck. They were $16 a piece at my local Target. Honestly, each starter has to have at least close to that in value in just the trainings. I know the wisdom trainings are still like $4 or $5 a piece, and I wound up with 4 of them, so that's $20 of value. And if the other trainings are anywhere close, I mean, there's 6 trainings at, let's say, $3 a piece, and I got 4 copies of each one. That's what, $18 per training times 5 or something, $50, $90 of value. Like, the value's there, and I just think it's a great product. Everyone needs access to the training cards. They needed a reprint, and all of these decks in this box, I will say, I built almost every deck out of this box. I bought 2 boxes. My brother bought a 3rd box. He built Musketeers, Lilith X. I'm building Safaga, Dragon Lynx, Hexablau, Heavy Metal, and I'm building Sendromon for my girlfriend. So between us, that's everything in the box, and it doesn't feel like it was excessively difficult necessarily to build the decks and get the proper support and make it happen. I mean, I guess on my girlfriend's deck specifically, it was just 2 Sendril starters. And then we pulled 2 Sendromons from the boxes, and we were like, all right, throw those in. Deck's fine. It runs fine with just 2 copies. So you could spend $50 getting a Sendromon deck set up, and you are ready to roll. So I love the product, and I'm just really happy that we've gone back to, well, I guess not back to, but we got a good box product. The only thing that sucks about it is the SP rares and the fact that there's only 2 of the foil common uncommons per box. That's really, really lame. Some of them are quite expensive. But yeah, I'd give the box as a product like a solid like 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Mostly, almost everything right. Sega Mama says, keep doing it. Love the alternative deck like yours. Now going to test and give some feedback later on EX7 Chaos Gallantmon. Anytime there's a new card that will work for Chaos Gallantmon, I'm going to see if it fits. I'm going to see if I like it, and then I will probably do a deck profile on it if it does fit. You know me and Chaos Gallantmon. You will probably always see updated lists for Chaos Gallantmon, Minervamon, anything Doru Goramon related that I could fit, I would probably update the deck. Probably Hexablaumon too. Just some of my favorite decks that I feel like have a place on this channel. Purple in general. I mean, if I can find some silly purple stuff to do, I'm gonna do it. Royal Knight of Destiny again says, why no BT8 Chimeramon? If you swarm level 4's Chimera can get you another swing on Reanimator goes wide. Short answer, yes. Long answer, I forgot. It can be a little bit tricky because your level 4s tend to die when you swing. So you're either swinging both level 4s, maybe one dies and you can't DNA anymore, or you're not swinging your level 4s, you're DNAing a Chimera and you lose 2 checks. Or I guess you lose 1 check because you can swing the Chimera. But it just doesn't... It wasn't one of my first thoughts. It's probably why I forgot about it. It probably fits. I feel like you could definitely throw one in there if you wanted to. I just don't know how often it would come up. And then we have this comment. We're going to take some time to dissect this a little bit seriously. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this really, really brief because I've tried to do this a couple times and I start tangenting and maybe getting a little bit too heated about this. But I've decided I'm not going to read this comment. You guys can read it. And I just want to build the preface that I responded to somebody's comment and I called a opinion that they had silly. That opinion being that you should not play competitive if you don't like what's in the meta, which I agreed with, but saying that you should just play casual because good decks don't show up in casual format. I disagree. I think people play what is new, what is interesting, and probably just what's strong because people like winning. It's a card game. We play games to win. Winning is part of the fun, right? So just because you play casual doesn't mean you're trying to lose by playing bad decks. It just means you're not playing competitive tournaments, and maybe you don't take it as seriously, but it doesn't mean that the power level of your deck is going to be lower. That being said, this comment was in response to that call out, and it just kind of... It's difficult to decide if I should continue responding to comments like this in the comments, and I want to know what you guys think about that, because this comment shows to me that this man was very upset about what I did. Me making a passing comment about his position seems to have ruined his day, because this comment came 3 months after that video when the ban list dropped, and he does at the end hit me back with the comment, your comment is pretty silly, which means to me, in my head, that this man or woman, I don't know, was so bothered by what I said and what I did that they waited 3 months, they waited for the ban list to hit, and then they came back to rebuttal. My intent is not to ruin people's day. It's not to punch down on people because I have an audience and, I don't want it to be an us versus them type of situation where everybody's pointing and laughing at the guy whose opinion I disagree with. That's just not what I want. For the most part, what I do on this channel is make interesting content that I think is interesting. I guess it's not necessarily interesting to everybody, but I like making silly deck profiles. I like playing decks that I think are interesting, and we don't do competitive. We're mostly casual, I think, and the decks we play are not the most high-powered decks. And I don't want to act like an authority on Digimon, but I feel like some of the opinions expressed here are just not conducive to a healthy community. And I don't know that responding to negative comments like this is good for the community we're trying to build here. So I want to know what you guys think. Should I continue to highlight negative comments? Should I respond to them? I know I take responsibility when somebody points out that something that I've said is wrong, or something in my deck profile is wrong. I'm very quick to concede something like that. I also like highlighting good things because, why not? I'd like to pick comments from every video. I'm not trying to cherry pick and only show the good things that people have to say. But if showing things that I disagree with is going to cause a situation like this where somebody seems to be really, really upset and hurt about something that I criticized, and they also go on to antagonize another comment on the video and kind of ridicule them for enjoying a part of the game that they don't enjoy, it feels maybe just not worth it. Because then I'm stuck with a situation like this where I either ignore this and this happens in my comments, and that's, that is part of being a YouTuber, is I post things, people respond, and I have to live with that. And I have a decision to either respond to it and defend my position or to let it exist uncontested. And I just don't know what is healthier. I don't necessarily really enjoy that another commenter got caught in the crossfire for this. That part really bothers me. But yeah, I just want to know what you guys think. What should I do moving forward? I will definitely adopt a change policy if you guys think I should, if it's unhealthy, or if you guys just don't like seeing me criticizing comments or doing whatever. I mean, I could keep it positive if that's what you guys want, but let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.